running in the afternoon, bro. This is Malaysia.
It's their first year here.
first 3 months, they will learn. They will learn our ways.
Yeah. Within 1 year, they'll be strolling in the mall.
This is a proper off-roader, like a leather chassis, a shortened version of the Prado chassis, which is actually, what they did is they took the three-door Prado and then they made it into this chassis. I did some research, aka watch video in the middle of the night. The birth of Prado was very odd. I think it has to go back to the FJ130, which is in the 50s and the 60s. That was the last common ancestor of all Land Cruiser today. It was a workhorse.
Right.
It was uncomfortable. You have a live axle front, live axle back. It is small, but for its time, you know, Jeeps are what they are. You know, they are, if not military machine, farm machine,
right.
Proper off-roader. They took a lot of inspiration from the Jeep of the time. If you look at the FJ, the 40 come from the 30 and the 20 series, and those are really, they look like a clone of Jeep. That was the 20 and 30 series. 40 series is the first time Toyota sit down, redesign the whole thing, gave it maximum potential, maximum capability, but making it a little bit more civilian friendly. So that was the legendary FJ lah. It's actually called a J40. F stands for petrol engine. Else, if you get the diesel version, it's actually called BJ.
The J is a series.
The J is a series. I think it meant Jeep.
Jeep, okay.
Originally they just copied Jeep and then said it's a Jeep, it's a Toyota Jeep, we call it a J.
And then the 40 was Generation
4 lah. So the 40 series was the last common ancestor of all Land Cruiser. After the 40, they came up with the 50 and the 60. But the 50 and the 60 was a little bit shunned upon at that time because it lost the front live axle suspension, right, and they went independent. Basically, it's the precursor to modern Land Cruiser. The first inkling of Land Cruiser becoming big, luxurious and capable still is in the 50 and 60. And because the 50 and 60 become a little bit luxurious and big, they come up with the 70 now. We have a lot of 70 series in Malaysia. We call it Land Cruiser 2. The 70 returns to the spirit of the 40, which is live axle front, live axle back, workhorse. After the 40 is the lineage kind of split. You have the workhorse and then you have the comfort. The comfort is the 50-60, the workhorse continues in the 70. Prado was a luxurious trim of 70 at that time. After the 70 comes the 80 series. Now 80 series is extremely important in Malaysia because we have a heck lot of it. It's called the Ninja Turtle. Beautiful stuff, very comfortable, huge! But it was too big, a little bit too luxurious for workhorse usage. And because of that, the 80 series further spawned a 90 series. That was the first Prado cruiser. From there, you have three family members. You have the 70 series, you have the Land Cruiser, then you have the Prado cruiser. In fact, until today, 70 series are still being sold.
What are they sold as?
It's sold as Land Cruiser 70.
Oh, okay.
So you can find them in multiple body, you can find them in wagon, you can find them in coupe, you can find them in troopy. Troopy means very long and a lot of seats at the back. You can find them in pickup, you can find them in crew cab pickup. All sorts of body. They are sold in South Africa, as far as I know, as a lot of parts of South America, and in Australia and in New Zealand. So the 70 series just went on by itself and continued until today. They're still being sold in a lot of parts of the world. The 80 series became the Ninja Turtle. The 80 series went on and become the Land Cruiser that we know, the big, comfortable, expensive ones. 80 is then replaced by 100. 100 is now replaced by 200. We live in an age where 200 is reaching the end of its life cycle. It's been around for slightly more than 10 years, 11 years in fact, and it's the third facelift it has already gone through. So we'll be seeing a new Land Cruiser in the next 2 to 3 years, I think. Whereas the Prado line started with the 70 series Prado trim, then eventually it becomes a 90 series, and from 90 series, give me a second. Prado started out with the 70 trim, became the 90, the first Prado. After the 90, I don't know why it's not successful in Malaysia anymore. It was called the 120 series.
It got too big and expensive, I think.
It got too expensive. It's actually the chassis of a 120 series, 2-door, gave rise to this. This is based on the 120 series. And now it's a 150 series. Prado. I personally think Toyota didn't do a great job when it comes to branding. I think they should retain the Land Cruiser, of course, and that should be the benchmark.
Yeah.
Then they could have called it a Prado Cruiser as opposed to a Land Cruiser Prado.
Right.
Which means that that is a mid-size version of that thing. Then you can come up with the stripped down version, call it the FJ Cruiser or whatever. Stripped down
Then the
version.
nomenclature would make sense.
Correct, but they didn't do that. Maybe it was market realities, because the Land Cruiser, while it has its UN designated the Land Cruiser as the official car that they can use it, many factors make it successful. However, Land Cruiser, in terms of usability, is a little bit outside the reach of a lot of agricultural people, because its operational cost is expensive. It is very expensive to buy, and for countries like Malaysia, it may be actually too big. Yeah. So in countries like this, they tend to sell the Prado as a replacement.
Right.
So the Prado is like as capable brother, but narrower for Japan road tax purposes. And also the fact that it's narrower means it's easier to maneuver. The Land Cruiser is just huge. It's too big for our market. That's why they don't sell the Prado in America. They sell the Land Cruiser.